You talk to them saying that you can overthrow Saddam without going to war?
Without going to war.
How would you have done that?
We believe because Iraq was isolated. The United States troops were arrayed around Iraq from the sea, from the land, from everywhere. And all we thought had to be done was to tell the Iraqi government and to tell the Iraqi army that, listen, this man is not going to stay. You have two choices. You can stay with him or cooperate with us and save Iraq from future problems. And if you cooperate with us, we will protect you. Rather than kick out the government and disband the army, use it in order to get an Iraq that is controllable.
So your advice essentially was, you've got him surrounded, wait him out and you will win.
Not just wait him out, work on the government and on the military to allow for a change of administration without going to war.
Knowing Saddam Hussein and the survival abilities he had.
Isn't that the best way to achieve an objective? To do it without firing a bullet or killing one person? We thought that if it at least is tried, it would be worthwhile.
So what did the administration say to you when you argued for this position? Because you're not arguing against overthrowing Saddam, you're arguing to do it in a better way.
In a different way. They thought it was not a better way.
They thought it was not a better way because they thought that somehow he was not, you couldn't overthrow him that way.
Well, I don't know the reasoning. You would have to ask the American government for that. But obviously the choice that we suggested wasn't accepted.
What else? Has the fear that you had over doing it the way the United States and the coalition partners did it, has that come to fruition? Or what we're seeing in Iraq today, the fears you had before the war started?
Well, the fears that we have is that in solving a problem, you would create 10 problems. And the fear that we had is that we knew that Iraq, we knew that Iraq had many problems. Basically, the ethnic and sectarian situation in Iraq, which had been leaving Iraq on the edge of a pendulum, from complete chaos one time to complete dictatorship at another time. And we thought that Saddam Hussein was not the cause of the problems of Iraq. He was a symptom of the problems of Iraq, that he came to power playing on these sectarian and ethnic differences and forced himself into power. And
you're suggesting that Iraq created Saddam rather than Saddam created Iraq.
Yes, in a sense that is true. And his presence there as a dictator, a murderous dictator who with violence ruled a country with unconscionable force, kept all these problems underground. And we thought that once you remove him, all these issues and problems come to the fore.
But it would be
Do you have a plan to deal with this? And I remember I said at the time in one of the television programs, after the American general enters Baghdad and he wakes up the next day, what's he going to do? That the Iraqi forces will be defeated is a foregone conclusion. But the important thing is, what are you going to do after the victory? And this is the question that is befuddling everybody until now.
It is still unanswered.
It is still unanswered, and we hope that now we see the glimmers of an answer. The only fear that we have in Iraq is that it will be based on sectarian and ethnic basis, and then be divided. And
meaning the Kurds will be represented, the Sunnis will be represented, even though the majority will be Shiites.
They will be divided from each other into separate entities, and there would be conflict between them. And this is the fear that everybody has from the ethnic and sectarian basis of establishing a government. Now already the Kurds are demanding their autonomy in their area. If they achieve that, what makes it so far from the imagination that the Sunnis may demand the same thing?
What likelihood do you think there is for some kind of civil war in Iraq?
If things follow what is happening now, if you pursue it to its logical end, it will lead to a division between the Iraqis. And then where would we be? And this is why every neighbor of Iraq fears the dismemberment of Iraq, because the geopolitical situation surrounding Iraq is so delicate and so dangerous that you may have a conflict of the whole region, beginning from a conflict within Iraq itself.